Okay, we are going to be reading about how I think it's pronounced Ligidiae, Ligidae. I don't know. Maybe I can actually find a quick pronunciation. Whoopsie, completely misspelled that. But these guys, I see something that makes me think of these often along the shore, rocky shores in Maryland here. So I wanted to see if whoopsie, it's completely incorrect. Wanted to see if I can find any more information on them. Liquid. Yep, that's what I wanted to find. Anyway, guess we're not going to have luck with pronunciation. I'm going to just call this Ligiidae. And there are a number of different hyperlinks that will take us all around to different kinds here. So Ligiidae is a family of woodlice, the only family in the infraorder Diplocata. Its members are common on rocky shores in similar habitats to those inhabited by species of the bristletail Petrobius and the crab Cyclograpsis. The family contains these genera, which we've got the Ligidium, the Ligia, the Ligidioides, the Ligidioides, the Ligidium, Tauroligidium, and Typhloligidium. And just to real quick look, woodlice or a woodlouse is a crustacean belonging to the suborder of Onicidia within the order of Isopoda. They got their name from often being found in old wood and from louse, a parasitic insect, although woodlice are neither parasitic nor insects. And it would seem that a very common form of these guys is like the roly-poly or tomato bug, pill bug. Everyone kind of has different names for it, but I'm guessing that's the same type thing there, just to kind of orient your minds. But that guy there looks more like what I'd see on shores. Maybe I'll read this whole article some other time too. Petrobius looks like that. Encyclograpsis looks like a little crab. Maybe these references would be worth reading as well. But that's for another day. So let's look at Ligia. Pardon me. Ligia is a genus. Oh, actually, I'm about to have a couple clocks go off. So, sorry in advance. Oh, right there. It's going to ding 11 times. Ligia is a genus of isopods, commonly known as rock lice or sea slaters. Most Ligia species live in tidal zone cliffs and rocky beaches, but there are several fully terrestrial species which occur in high humidity environments. Ecology. Coastal Ligia species exhibit a mixture of terrestrial and marine characteristics, drying out easily, needing moist air and proximity to water to retain water. While they have gills and can exchange gas underwater, they only do so. This is going to be loud. Yeah. They only do so when escaping terrestrial predators or being dislodged by wave action. They do not move swiftly in the water and are open to marine predation. Just wait until it goes off. Okay, there we go. While they have gills and can exchange gas underwater, they only do so when escaping terrestrial predators or being dislodged by wave action. They do not move swiftly in the water and are open to marine predation. They are well adapted to rocky surfaces and avoid sand, which opens them to terrestrial predation and desiccation. Desiccation is the state of extreme dryness or the process of extreme drying. A desiccant is a hygroscopic substance that induces or sustains such a state in its local vicinity in a moderately sealed container. Desiccation. I kind of wanted to click on this because this picture was alluring. That is very cool looking. Taxonomy. It has been suggested that Ligia is more closely related to marine isopods than it is to true woodlice, which we looked at woodlice earlier. It's those guys. Species. Species separation is at times difficult because of sexual dimorphism. For example, males usually have longer and wider antennae than female. The males also tend to be larger but narrower, with the difference sometimes attributed to the female's brood pouch. Complicating matters is the possible existence of cryptic species in the genus. This is a list of all Ligia species contained in A Bibliography of Terrestrial Isopods. And I will not read every single name here, but let me kind of mention where they're found. We've got some Australian, Tasmanian, the east-west coasts of America, Japan, French Guiana, Hokkaido and northern Honshu, Japan, Chile, Angola, Hawaii, Indonesia, Southern Africa, Hawaii again, Madagascar, Venezuela, Southern Africa in the Namibia and South Africa area, Senegal, northern Angola, more Japan, lots of Hawaii, the Black Sea, Macaronesian Islands, Cape Verde, New Caledonia, Chile, Peru, Tanzania, Natal, New Zealand, Baja California, Atlantic coasts of Europe, Baltic Sea, Christmas Island, Persian Gulf, Polynesia, Red Sea, Venezuela, Guyana, Trinidad, southeastern Polynesia, Micronesia, Colombia, Taiwan, Singapore, New Guinea, Melanesia, Polynesia, possibly Somalia, Tokyo, Gulf of Aden. So a lot of different places is where it's found. And here's a lovely whoopsie. Don't know how I got there. Here's a lovely picture of a Ligia oceanica on the rocks at Battery Point, Portishead, England. It's hard to get such an up-close image of them because they run really quick and they don't like to be seen. A sea slater. So let me see if I think Ligia exotica I'd clicked on and kind of rang some bells for me. So I'll read through this one. Ligia exotica, also called sea roach or wharf roach, is a woodlouse-like isopod, a sea slater in the family Ligiidae. It is found in various parts of the world, living on rocky coasts and harbor walls just above high water mark. I can attest to that. They are always right above where you see the water line. Yeah. Description. Ligia exotica can grow to 4 centimeters, which is 1.6 inches, in length, with the males being rather bigger than the females. The general color is dark gray, sometimes with brown flecks, and the appendages are pale brown. The head has a pair of long antennae which exceed the length of the body and 2 unstalked bulging eyes. The body is flattened dorsally and has 7 thoracic segments, each with a pair of legs and 6 abdominal segments. The first 5 of these bear flat, membranous gills, and the 6th bears a pair of long, forked uropods. Uropods are these posterior appendages, found on lots of crustaceans, used for locomotion often. I think we've read about that in the sand crab episode. I forget what sand crab officially is called, but I think I've got it open right over here. Emerita analoga, right. Emerita analoga. That's the sand crab. Distribution and habitat. Ligia exotica is believed to be native to the coasts of Western Europe and the Mediterranean Sea. Other authorities suggest it originated in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The fact that Roux gave it a specific name, exotica, when he first described the species in 1828 from near Marseille? I don't know. May indicate that it was not previously known in that locality. It has spread to many other temperate and subtropical parts of the world, including the Red Sea, the eastern seaboard of the United States, and Hawaii. It is thought that the spread occurred unintentionally via shipping, either in ballast or between the planks of timber ships. Its natural habitat is rocks and cliffs in the splash zone just above high water mark, where it lives in damp crevices. It is also found sometimes in large numbers on jetties and harbor walls. Biology. Ligia exotica is both a grazer on microalgae and diatoms. Diatoms? Member of a large group. A diatom is any member of a large group comprising several genera of algae, specifically microalgae found in the oceans, waterways, and soils of the world. They generate about 20 to 50% of oxygen produced on the planet each year. My goodness. They're important then, I suppose. So they grazer on those and a scavenger on plant remains and detritus. In the eastern United States, where it is considered to be invasive, it seems to be the dominant invertebrate in its habitat. The impact of this on competing organisms and its contribution to the diet of predators has not been properly evaluated. However, the Nemesis database suggests it is not likely to be of much significance. Individual Ligia exotica are either male or female. Fertilization is internal, and eggs are laid in batches of about 80 in moist cracks and fissures. Females often carry their eggs around with them, usually carry their eggs around with them using specially adapted appendages. The larvae develop into juveniles, which go through a number of molts before becoming adult. Ligia exotica has a passive water transportation system through open capillaries in its legs. Huh. Fascinating. I wish we had more information on that there. And here's a video. Yep, that's them all right. I suppose if you are not watching, they are about I'd say about as long as the tip joint of your pinky to about the tip joint of your index finger. And they are about half as wide, a shiny sheen of gray. They've got two little tail-like antennae in the rear. They can run pretty darn fast. They look like little, little hovery things on the ground. It's hard to describe. They're calling them a sea roach or a wharf roach is fitting. If you know what a tomato bug, pill bug looks like, and you kind of cross that with a cockroach, that's kind of it. It's a weird little critter. Let me go back twice here, see if we have anything interesting in Ligidium. Ligidium is a genus of wood lice. It contains about 46 species, 6 of which are probably taxonomic synonyms of Ligidium hypnorum, or Ligidium germanicum. Of the remainder, 8 species are found in North America, 6 in Japan, 2 in Taiwan, 4 China, 12 Turkey, the Caucasus and Central Asia, and 6 in Greece. It doesn't look like we're going to get a lot of general information there. Just dancing around to articles, to hyperlinks. I don't think we're going to find a lot either there. I am a little I want to look more into the linked references, but I also don't want to infringe on copyright. I honestly don't know even if reading Wikipedia articles is infringing on any copyright, but I'm sure once I start going into these, I'd have to worry a little more about stuff. But we've got phylogeography of superliteral rock intertidal Ligia isopods in the Pacific region, from central California to central Mexico. Genetic evidence against monophyly of Onicidae implies a need to revise scenarios for the origin of terrestrial isopods and an evolutionary timescale for terrestrial isopods and a lack of molecular support for the monophyly of Onicidae. A revision of the isopod genus Ligia fabricius, Proceedings of the Zoological Society of London. Cryptic biodiversity and phylogeographic patterns of Seychellois Ligia isopods. A bibliography of terrestrial isopods. Yeah, it sounds like there's probably a bit more information out there, just not transcribed into Wikipedia here, which might get more into some of the things that I'd be interested in, like learning more about that in the Ligia exotica, wherever it went. That last thing they said, Ligia exotica has passive water transportation system through open capillaries in its legs. I don't really know what that means. Water transportation is the international movement of water over large distances. Aqueducts shipment, that's not what we're looking for. It sounds really interesting. Well, here's its reference. Water transport mechanism through open capillaries analyzed by direct surface modifications on biological surfaces. I'm looking to see if I can stop recording screen. Let's risk it. PubMed. Okay, here's the abstract. So this is all free information, and just to cite this better, we're in the National Library of Medicine, and this is from cited by other articles. I'm not very familiar with PubMed. Well, the DOI is 10-1038/SREP03024, and this is Daisuke Ishii, Horiguchi Hirai et al. In 2013. So I'll just read the abstract here. Some small animals only use water transport mechanisms passively driven by surface energies. However, little is known about passive water transport mechanisms because it is difficult to measure the wettability of microstructures in small areas and determine the chemistry of biological surfaces. Herein, we developed to directly analyze the structural effects of wettability of chemically modified biological surfaces by using a nanoliter volume water droplet and a high-speed video system. The Wharf roach, Ligia exotica, transports water only by using open capillaries in its legs containing hair and paddle-like microstructures. The structural effects of legs chemically modified with a self-assembled monolayer were analyzed, so that the wharf roach has a smart water transport system, passively driven by differences of wettability between the microstructures. We anticipate that this passive water transport mechanism may inspire novel biomimetic fluid manipulations with or without a gravitational field. That's interesting. How long? Okay, let me read this too. Water is important for maintaining life and activity. Land animals have evolved diverse water transport mechanisms depending on the habitat and body structure of animals that are actively driven by mechanical energies or passively driven by surface energies, including the extraction of moisture from food, absorption through the skin, or by oral anal intake in most cases. Most animals use suction or drinking, which requires mechanical energy to draw water into their mouths. Smart water transport systems, based on a combination of active and passive mechanisms, have been reported. Adult cats acquire water by lapping, thus exploiting the inertial energy of ascending columns based on water adhesion to the dorsal side of its tongue. Shorebirds transport water using a capillary ratchet induced by repetitive opening and closing of their beak. On the other hand, some small animals only use passive water transport mechanisms. Insects found in the Namib Desert collect water droplets from the morning fog using hydrophilic hydrophobic microstructures on their backs before transportation to their mouth. Australian lizards transport water to their mouth using the capillary system of their grooved skin. Desert sandgrouses transport water to their young by wetting their feathers, which are densely covered with wettable hydrophilic fibers. The wharf roach transports water through the open capillaries of the caudal legs. In comparison to active transport, Little is known about passive transport because it is difficult to measure the wettability of microstructures in small areas and characterize the chemistry of biological surfaces. In this article, we determined how the wharf roach transports water via open capillaries on its legs. In general, water moves up an open capillary using the interfacial free energy resulting from the surface chemical composition and microstructures. Firstly, we investigated the surface chemical composition of the wharf roach using conventional surface chemical analysis, such as energy dispersive X-ray, infrared, and Raman spectroscopies. However, elucidation of surface chemistry was difficult because of considerable individual variability and heat damage. Secondly, we tried to prepare duplicated open capillaries by template in photolithographic methods. However, exact duplicates of the legs could not be obtained because of the complicated microstructures. Herein, to solve these big problems of investigation of smart water transport systems of the wharf roach possessing complicated biological microstructures and undefined surface chemistry, we developed a novel method including direct modifications of biological microstructures and wettability analysis of small areas. That is very fascinating, and I have to go to the bathroom really bad. But man, that's just like so many years of evolution have designed these critters, which we've read like really need wet environments, otherwise they dry out. Their legs literally just have a microbiological way to like transport water throughout its body. That's very cool. I have to go.